time I close my eyes, I see the night again. In all the dreams I have, I hear the sound of angels cry. Take me back, I need to find those distant memories. Hold on close, slowly, my fire through it all. In all my life, I've been searching for a better world, but time has let me down. Here we stand on this broken land, raise my head up high, I can see the sun. We are the children, with fire in the sky, and we are the future. Our souls in the night will never feel the change, it seems it's like the same old day to me. Nothing here I have to live before they capture me. In all my life I've been searching for a better world, but time has let me down. Here we stand on this broken land, raise my head up high, I can see the sun. We are the children, with fire in the sky. We are the future. Our souls in the night will never
And ladies and gentlemen, we are live. It appears we lost Dave's connection, it looks like. Unless he's coming in here, he's usually here. But he is here, actually. It looks like he's just reconnecting. So let's crush across and starting out. Guys, welcome to the stream. Dave will be coming in here in just a second once he reconnects. And we are in our final preview of the Hall of Fame nominations. You know, this one, I really like this one that we're going to do tonight because it's the managers and the announcers. And, you know, managers, we got 4 of them, and announcers, there's 5. And, you know, we had some, as I analyzed all this, I had to prepare all the videos and stuff for the show. I really got to thinking. Oh, Dave, I already started it.
Oh. Yeah, I got stuck in synchronized mode.
Yeah, you disconnected from us there a little bit, but that's all right. I knew you'd be coming back in.
I'm here now.
And just turning up my volume a little bit here so I can hear better. All right. You hear me okay, Dave?
I can hear you.
All right. So, yeah, I was just saying that this is going to be our final preview for the nominations for the Hall of Fame as we go over managers and announcers, which will be a fun one. And it's like I was saying to the everybody out there, you know, listening to the announcing that we had some really good announcers. And yeah, so it's like, you know what? Out of all the choices and the announcers, I don't know who I'd vote for if I was voting because they're all good. Yeah. So I don't know. One announcer is all that's going to get voted for. So yeah, we got to pick one of them. But Dave, how was your week?
Oh, it's been a busy week. You know the line of work I'm in, so.
Yeah.
And we're starting to pick back up again.
It's
after that
busy.
January slump.
Yeah. I know we're busy, and we've been doing the shows every week, and we're actually going next week again, Dave. I just realized I scheduled starting next week.
Yep.
So, but then after next week, it'll be every other week again, folks. So we're gonna go next week, and then we'll be going every 2 weeks from there. And
And
let me just go ahead.
if I may say so, the last two shows of the month of February are going to be interesting shows.
Yes, they are. The middle of the month, we've got some outside personalities that are inviting in to come talk with us about the league. March is NWF month, Dave. It's the true
Yep.
anniversary, and so we're bringing in a couple personalities of people, friends of ours that are in the that have been in the wrestling business somewhat, or very much into wrestling were never part of the league, and we're going to get their take on what we did.
Yep. Well, we
And
know one of the guests
yep,
enjoys what we did.
right. And we'll leave it kind of a mystery and a surprise for you folks. That'll be coming up in the middle of the month. There's some interesting guests. And
Yep.
the end of the month, we're opening up a roundtable panel, and we're bringing in a lot of the nominees that are on the ballot that are going to come on. People like Terry Kosnapple. Speaking of Terry Kosnapple in the house out there. Good evening, Sean and Dave. Good evening, Terry. And we're looking forward to seeing you the end of the month or end of next month. It'll be fun. And we'll have Terry, we'll have Matt Kelsey's going to be joining us. We're going to be having, of course, that's Kid Kelsey. Our good friend Jamie McParlin is going to be coming on with
Yep.
us. We've got Steve Engstrom, Mr. X, and / Pretty Boy Taylor, and Jeff Dinsmore. And also, I don't want to forget Chad Ronnebaum, Rock and Ronnebaum, all going to be joining us, and maybe more. We haven't even completed setting it up yet, but that's just who we got on the docket for the last show there in next month. So that'll be fun.
Exactly.
Let me just get a few more comments caught up, and then we'll get going with the footage. I know everybody's anxious to see us start rolling. Christian Dave, nice to see you back. And again, Gizmo called me last week and said you guys were back on again. And he said that I wasn't allowed to miss tonight's casting. Sports Talk 117. Yeah, we missed you guys. It was fun. You guys are
Yeah,
some of our best.
We've been talking about our nominees for the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm. And you guys are always so good with questions and stuff. I'm really looking forward to Gizmo and all the whole crew when we have our guests, so they can ask questions.
Yep.
The other kids that were on the show, get their comments and stuff. I think that would be very interesting stuff. And then we got Sky Sports video news as well. He told me the same thing. So the Gizmo connection in the house tonight. So let's get started with the nominees here, Dave, because we got to go over managers and announcers. Now,
Yep.
but before I do that, Dave, I want to quickly show, as we're preparing for the Hall of Fame, here's a little peek at what our logo will be like for this year's Hall of Fame. The NWF's 2024 Hall of Fame 40th Anniversary Edition. And that'll be kind of our slogan / logo for the Hall of Fame. A lot of work preparing for this, Dave. And you said you're glad you're not doing it.
Hey.
Yeah.
Granted, yes, the podcast may have been my brainchild, but I'm glad you have all the technical experience because I don't.
Yeah.
And before we get going too much more, I want to thank our musical people for letting us use their song. Our friends at Liliac, thank you for letting us use We Are the Children. And Liliac starts their tour 1 week from tonight.
Now that'll be good, exciting stuff.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Dave. I just missed my my video, so I will get started with our first nominee for the managers. Now, before I get this going, though, managers in the NWF were a little. It wasn't the traditional managers that you'd have in wrestling. Most of these guys were wrestlers as well.
Right.
For example, Kid Kelsey, who's in the Hall of Fame as a manager, well, he was a wrestler, but he was also a manager. A lot of them played double duty. So not a lot of dedicated managers.
You know, we had a lot of triple duty people. I mean, wrestlers, referees, announcers. You know.
Yeah. You wore a lot of hats in the NWF because we just
Exactly.
needed positions filled. Well, let's get on with our first one here.
Alrighty.
And of course, it's Jackknife Jacob, Rob Jacob. You know, he's also nominated as a singles wrestler as well, but he was also, you know, the Jacob family in '84 for our show was big, and that was all Rob. You know,
Yep.
managed people like Killer Campa, Brian Peterson, Madman Nash, Muscular Mike Rudnick, Heath Payne Peterson, just some of the guys that he had in his stable. And, you know, I can't say enough about this guy because he was such a big part of the show in 1984 in the beginning of it. So let's take a look at some footage of Jackknife Jacob in more of a managing role as best I can, you know, pick out for him. So let's take a look.
Okay, let me tell you something. Twin Cities. I've got this master plan, boy. We're going to kick Killer, Crusher Crossen, Merciless Mike. What are those dudes? They're wimps. But I've got 2 wrestlers already in my ranks. Derek Nash and Heath Peterson. Pile driver, he likes to be called. You're dead, Cross, and you're dead, Ackerman. I've got another weapon against you just to ensure that you're dead. He's another tag team partner. We're gonna have 4 people. Yes, it's Killer Campa. All right, brother. We're gonna kick on those 4.
Yeah,
those
Rob
2,
was a
aren't
good,
we?
real good talker,
we
Dave.
always-
Real good at
Okay,
interviews
now,
and promos.
all you dudes in dude land out here, Twin Cities Metro are the best there is. Okay, first of all, though, I've got a certain grudge against this guy named Crusher Crossen. Right, and Merciless Mike, but mostly Crusher. And we're gonna get going here.
Not me,
I
Dave.
can't wait to get that title back from him. But right now, I've got a team. This guy's one of it. He's my best. And I've got many more. That Peterson kid, he's new. He's good. But it's going to be domination once I get my team together. Because I've got him on a training program right now. Better watch it, Crusher.
What do you got to say for yourself, Jackknife? If I may say so myself, that was a poor performance on your part.
Yeah, I'll admit that. I like you know that? I really do. But
Jake-
first of all, back to
Jacob
this. Okay.
admitting he did poorly.
First of all, Merciless Mike, I let you win. Okay, I want to tell you that. That's a warm-up match, so I might be taking on Crusher, and I can't wait for that. And don't interfere with my interviewing time. No! Let me speak. Okay, now, I accepted this body slam thing because I don't think he can do it, but I'm not going to let that happen for a little while because I'm going to work on my counter offense. Come on in here, Killer Campa. What else do you want to ask?
Well,
Okay, now, I'm getting sick of these dumb revenge matches, Mike. I'd say if you don't want the same thing to happen to you again, I think you better stop trying to wrestle me for revenge.
the sneaky snake himself, Jackknife Jacob.
I thought you'd learned your lesson when you got fined last time. I guess you're just too sly to admit that you're stupid. Now let me say, first of all, why I'm not wearing my regular outfit. I went to the hospital
Yeah,
the
Jacob,
other
he was
day.
a talker.
It was a sad story.
He was,
This poor child, he was
a
dying
gift
of
to gab.
cancer.
Yep.
His only request was that he wanted my uniform. So I, out of the goodness of my heart, gave it to him.
Jackknife, get off here. And if this chump don't want his teeth knocked out, I suggest you tell him to stop messing with
You
you.
don't touch my wrestler's tail, otherwise you're going to be down again. I get my way with the committee.
I don't care. You can bar me, you can do whatever. I still
Yeah.
will hold my tongue.
Yeah,
to
we
my
had a
mouth.
different
Step
angle going
aside
on
and
during this
Jackknife
time where
talk.
Jacob would
Okay,
have
first
Rich
of all,
Taylor
ask Crusher
suspended for being
Crossen not
biased.
to interfere with my interview. You're the referee. You're not supposed to do that. Okay, but first of all, can you... No, now think about this. What I
There you
might
go again,
did
Dave.
may
You
have
see how
been
we
a
all wear
little
2 or
bit
3
drastic.
hats?
But can
little?
you
I'm
really
refereeing
blame
here.
Hurting
me?
him, man.
Can you... No, wait. Can you really blame me for doing that after what Merciless Mike pulled on me when me and him were tag team champions and he went and he weaseled out of it?
Well, Jackknife.
He deserved it.
I can understand. You're a newcomer here, right? You may be his partner, but this is his time, and so you just stay quiet for a while, okay? I can see.
You beat me twice.
I can see
You're dead, Crossen.
your hatred, but I can't see the drastic measures of hurting a man as serious as you hurt Merciless Mike. Now, Jackknife, I do have to say that
we
there
had a
was
lot
a
of
show of your true
angles back in these
wrestling
days.
ability.
Everything was all
That
story
was
building.
definitely a
in the
show of
beginning.
my wrestling
Couldn't
ability.
wrestle
The board,
real well
anybody
yet.
can do the board. What I
It
did
was
to
all
Merciless
about trying to
Mike, not
create
many men have
stories
done
and
before.
angles and stuff like
And
that, you know?
I'll do it again if I have to.
early
I'll
days.
just say that.
Okay, well, we're about ready to go down.
I'll be a respectable.
So Jackknife Jacob, this is kind of just a little taste of what he was like as, you know, more of a manager, a lot of interviews and talking, just kind of show you his character, right?
Yep.
You know, for 1984, I think he was great. I mean, he was probably
Oh, yeah.
the number one heel for the show at the time. I mean, he really was. And here's the thing about Rob. He played this arrogant, just you love to hate the guy, arrogant attitude, but couldn't have been anything but that in reality. That was all acting. He was not like that. Where Brian Peterson, that was Brian.
Yep.
What you've seen is what he was in those days, but not with Rob. Yeah, he was very, very, very nice guy. You know, off the show, behind the scenes, wasn't anything like that. All right, let's go on to our next one. And speaking of Brian Peterson, Fabulous One Peterson, Brian Peterson. When Rob Jacob left the show, Brian was kind of his protege, so Brian took over that Jacob family. So Brian was then the manager, and he managed guys like Ace, Campa, the Russian Destruction, mainly in the Group W cable era. So, I got a question here from Gizmo. He's saying, how are you defining a manager in your company for the upcoming vote? So basically, a manager is just somebody who's goes to the ring with the wrestler, has a wrestler in their what we would call their stable or their family in those days. And this person would be the kingpin or the leader of that clan. Clan more or less, I guess is a way to put it, because it'd usually be more than one.
Right.
But this would be the person that would be in charge of that stable of wrestlers. The one that was coordinating it, kind of leading it.
Right.
So that's kind of how we define a manager. Because like I said, a lot of these guys were doing double duty. You know, they were doing you know, wrestling, managing.
And wrestling.
Correct.
Yep.
So Brian Peterson, let's take a look at some Brian Peterson footage if we
And
can.
Gizmo, another qualification is somebody who regularly accompanies the same person or people to the ring.
But right now, entering the interview area,
Correct.
the Fabulous One, Peterson.
You got that right. The fabulous
You know what, I'm
one's
going to
right.
bring this down.
Well, I've
The
heard
audio's
different,
a little
but
loud,
hey,
isn't it, Dave?
as long as you
I'm not
keep
bringing it.
keep going by that, I guess I'll have to
Just
call
a
you that.
little
Yeah, you
snare, so
will.
if we talk, you
Fabulous
can
One,
hear us.
you've taken over the Jackknife family.
The fabulous one family now. I don't like that word, jackknife.
Let me know if that's still
They-
okay. Make sure you
and there
guys can hear
see
it okay.
the Fabulous One, Peterson in the corner.
If you guys can't hear it and you need
What's
me
so
to bring the
fabulous
audio
about
up, I
him?
will.
don't know. All I know is he looks like a clown.
But you see
guy.
how Brian's in the corner. He's managing in this
That's
situation.
his prerogative. That's fine with me, just as long as he doesn't step
And
in my business.
back and forth
You'll
with
find really
with
quickly
Jacob
you get
here. Like if Jacob would
face
be
full of knuckles.
technically Jacob's
As
the
he
one
did
running the
today.
family right now. But Brian, this
You
is
need to
just
do that,
showing
folks.
Brian's
Sorry, it's not
managing
There's no
techniques
way. You're playing a
in the you know
You're
in his
playing
talking.
a crud. You're playing a crud will never win.
You got Todd. We got Jamie.
Okay.
Up half Nielsen.
You see Brian in the corner.
Kay picks him up.
Yep.
And Crusher Crossen attacking Brian Peterson over in the corner here. Brian Peterson dressed up rather flashy tonight.
Brian always dressed the part, Dave.
Okay, now.
Than you did tonight. You look mighty impressive, Jackknife. Why is that?
Well, thank you for once.
As you know, he
But I
is
just-
the other part of the fabulous one.
Yeah. But I'd just like to point out, He's the one that used the chair, not me this time. The NWF champion, Ace the Great, executed by manager Peterson, who's been absent from the NWF for a while, been down in Florida. Not a crowd favorite.
Pretty boy Peterson, half of the
Brian's
fabulous
in-ring
lines.
chemistry was the best, Dave.
No,
Just his
Get
arrogance
this.
that he brought.
Sean
was
still
so
thinks
good
he's gonna beat me.
for a heel.
Todd almost won. Todd won by disqualification. And what do you call that?
The newcomer to the TWF, the Russian Destruction out of Moscow. Escorted, of course, by Peterson, who elegantly falls into the ring.
Ball. Hey, you see that last show? Or a couple shows back, you try and get over and you say that's a Sean side coming in the ring, and I believe it.
Get out of my face, Peterson.
I believe it, boy.
Get out of my face, boy. Entering the ring right this time.
Notice how Peterson getting into it with
the Russian
everybody who touches
Destruction's-
him,
The Russian Destruction's
Yep.
opponent. Just
yelling
back
at the ref for
from
pointing at
Hawaii,
him.
The merciless one. Half of the TWF Tag Team Champions, Merciless Mike Ackerman. Take it away, Merciless. Of course, you see the pink tights, you see the pink shirt. You can only be one person.
Pink pants and no, not pink. It's maroon.
Maroon.
And no
Looks like pink
colors.
to me.
Looks like pink to me too. Albino.
Okay, glasses. You need glasses. I've seen your pictures. Why don't you keep your glasses on? It may help.
There he goes again, getting under your skin.
Hey,
Say, I like your.
I was just thinking that would have been the comments that you were talking about.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it looks like you got your little thing there and your glasses there. Brace face.
Getting back to my interview.
Get back to your interview.
To me, announcer, I believe it's Campa today.
No, I don't believe so. It is. How do you know? You didn't get any word, Corporal Clausen. How do you think you guys did?
Yeah, we should have beat him, but you had to come in and interfere.
I didn't have to. Kelsey was doing a
Yeah,
terrible
so Peterson
job.
was managing
You know
and
that.
interfered and
If
cost the
Kelsey-
Super D's the match
If
in this
Crusher Cross would have
situation.
directed Kelsey out, it would have been you guys winning.
Yeah, that's true, but
I didn't do it. I didn't do it for their sake.
yeah, but Kelsey, he's a crappy ref. That's what I have to say.
Crappy blood ref.
Even back then, Kelsey was
And
getting
but
heat from the
he
guys.
should not be.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
a ref
Kelsey took
again
him a
for
lot.
my matches.
I know he shouldn't even be allowed to ref. He shouldn't be allowed to, for any.
But Todd
matter that
Trejazowski
is
calling out
possible.
Kelsey like that.
They allowed him
Matt
for
comes
the
in this
match.
interview, he's pretty ticked
Said
off.
that he was gonna let Ryan and Fritz win.
Oh, he did. You hear that? Crusher Crossen, come here. We have to hear some controversy about this. Crusher, Crusher, look at that, Crusher. Crusher.
Look at Brian taking matters in his own
Super D
hands.
stand for super diapers.
Didn't like Kelsey manhandling the Super D's like that.
I wonder if Super D stands for super diapers.
Yeah.
Listen, Clausen. Peterson, forget it.
What's this controversy? Everybody heard that Kelsey, before the match, said that he was going to let Fritz and Rough Ryan win. Everybody heard it. Chuck, did you hear it?
Yeah.
Everybody heard it. Okay, can I see it? Can I have this, please? We got a new wrestler on our side. As you know, we're getting so many coming in because they want to be on our side now. We had the Ghetto Blaster here. Number 1.
Ghetto Blaster, that's Jamie. His name is Jamie. It's one of those one and dones, Dave. He showed up for that show and never came back.
Well, you know,
A lot of those.
you work a stiff ring, you can't take it, you get out.
Yeah. But yeah, Brian Peterson, one of the best talkers, that could really get under your skin and really get you mad. And if it's causing me as a participant in it to get really ticked off, I can only imagine what the viewers thought.
Exactly.
Bringing that kind of heat. Now, the thing is, it really did get under your skin. I can tell you that firsthand, Dave. I got mad at him so many times for the things he would say because he was so good at it. And I hated it at the time, but when I look back at it now that I'm older, I'm thinking, man, that's what made the show so fun to watch. That's what
Exactly.
made that chemistry.
You've got to have your monster heel to make the baby faces.
Right. If without guys like him, without Brian and Rob, the show would be dull and boring. You need them kind of personalities, like Dave said. All right, let's move on to our next. We only have 4 managers, so we've looked at 2 of them so far. So we're going to go to the third. And before we do, though, I don't see we have a comment coming in here. It hasn't hit the thing yet, but it should be here with Sky Sports. Let's see what he has to say. What was the Wonka colors? Is that the colors of the Armory or the school colors? Yeah, he was talking about maroon, and that was Anoka colors. So Anoka being Anoka, Minnesota. And then the Anoka, well, Dave knows this. Anoka's colors are maroon.
Yep.
And that was Brian was trying to say he's wearing maroon, and where Rich was saying you're wearing pink. So yeah, that's what he's referring to is the city of Anoka. All right, let's get to our next one, and that would be Merciless Mike Ackerman. Again, another one that was nominated in the singles category, but also as a manager. You know, Merciless managed a lot of guys. He was responsible for, Mr. X in the beginning. He was bringing him in. Roughhouse Roberts was one of his guys. Madman Nash. And Kid Kelsey was actually brought into the show by Mike Ackerman and, initially managed with Mike. So let's take a look at Merciless and kind of get an idea of his, personality. Basically just kind of giving you an idea of their personalities, really.
I just like to say,
Yep.
as you know, me and the Crusher, we are against the Jackknife Jacob. That has been one of the biggest rivalries ever in the history of the Kids Twin Cities Pro Wrestling Show. And as you know, I've been training with Crusher myself and a few other people. And I just like to say that if the Jackknife is out there, he's in trouble, him and his side.
We are fairly new. We at TWA as Twin Cities Wrestling Association.
You see that Mike and I in the corner
and we
there.
were forced to change our name due to
We're
copyright
basically in
laws.
Fritz's corner.
2 minutes
Yep.
left in the match. TWF Twin Cities Wrestling Federation. And we expect that'll be our permanent name. Now Merciless Mike and Pressure Crossen are watching the match from John Fritz's corner.
See Madman Nash
I
there as
just like
well.
to say, Rowdy Ray,
We'll comment the next.
that me and the Crusher and the Madman have decided to take in the fabulous Fritz.
Merciless Mike will be handcuffed to Brian Peterson.
That's right. Brian, I don't know. All I know is Jackknife's been suspended for a matter of 5 shows. And, Brian's got something up his sleeve called the Russian Destruction. Roughhouse, I got him on. I can't. Come here, Roughhouse. He's a great wrestler. Yeah. Mr. Team USA. How do you feel about that charity match?
Well, I don't really want to do this because me and Sean are tag team partners. But, see, it's for charity, and I always give to charity, so it's to a good cause, so.
Okay. How do you feel about this training? Do you think it's helping you out a lot?
Yeah, it is. It's because I beat the Russian Destruction. I beat Ace, and it's really been helping me, and this Texas Tornado match is the training's gonna help that for a lot.
Okay.
Mike mainly in the Group W cable era. A little bit of the garage.
Competition in the PWA too great for him, or
In the beginning of the
decide to
garage,
come
Mike
to
was
a
there.
more competitive association.
Well, he came to see about these wrestlers and to see how they are and stuff, and see if they match up to the ones back in Omaha.
We have some comments from his so-called manager, Merciless Mike.
He is not trying us out. He was with us before.
A little bit of a
He
hook
went
there on
down
that pose there.
into the to his own. Don't worry, man. He used to be me and Crusher's partners. We were the best tag team there ever was. We still are. Don't forget it.
Well, you heard the comments from Merciless Mike.
Talk about Lecture
claiming-
Lane.
want him to
See
throw him
Mike
out of
giving
the ring.
direction, telling him to
Oh, and
throw
he
him out of the
flies
ring.
out of the ring to the very
Super D's
hard
were good for
cement
that.
floor. Here we have
In the beginning,
Merciless
they-
Mike with a few more
What they're known
comments
for.
on wrestling and other people who he allies and enemies.
Yeah, look at, I mean, this Dynamite dude is the oldest Little League wrestler, and to my judging, because of experience, is the best. Look at this match. Dynamite. Rough Ryan and Dynamite are for surely have got this match in their hands. As you can see, if we can get the camera to swing over here. Hey, can we get the camera? This is my new main man that I've gotten to go against the Crusher. All right, woo! Crusher, you're a goner. So are you, Ace.
And here you see Mike, he's managing in the corner, distracting the referee.
He has the ropes.
So the referee cannot do the 3 count. Oh, me and Kelsey were mad over that one.
1 minute remaining.
Looks like Dave lost his connection. He'll probably be chopping back in here again once he reconnects. You can see it, Mike Ackerman distracting the ref, causing us the match in that situation. One of the last shows Mike appeared on right here in the garage.
There's a break off right here. Crusher Crossen, you're dead. You're out. Woo! Merciless Mike and Luxury Lane.
So there we have Merciless Mike Ackerman, the manager in the managing role. Yeah, you know, he was good. I know Dave, like I said, Dave's having some weak connections, it looks like, so hopefully he'll be back in with us again. But yeah, this kind of gives you again a little personality of what Mike was like as a manager. You know, you could see him at both as a babyface manager and then in the end a heel manager, so kind of different styles. Let's see, Sports Talk says, hearing these wrestlers talk makes you realize how young many of these athletes were at the time of the taping. Yeah. Yeah, when you hear them talk, that's for sure. Yeah, because like Mike during that time here was probably 12 years, 13 years old or so, roughly. But yeah, and it kind of, you don't get to see the personalities so much. And there's Dave joining us back again. You with us, Dave?
Yep, I'm here. We're really foggy here, so my internet keeps cutting in and out.
All right, well, I figure that when you cut out, we'll just wait for you to come back. So, all right. So we're going to go to the next one, our last manager. And this one is the very talented Jason Clausen. Many characters that he had, and his manager, Mick Weller, from Australia. He did the whole cheesy Australian accent, and he
I
managed
just got a
Mr.
kick out of Mick Wellerman.
Yeah, he was a good one. Mr. Macho, Slick Steenerson, and Kid Kelsey were the guys that he had managed primarily in 1987. So let's take a look at Mick Weller and his managing style.
Hold everything. Oh. Hey, that's that dude from Australia, isn't it, Ken? That's that troublemaker Nick Weller. Sydney, Australia. He is always a menacing figure at ringside, believe me. Well, no disqualification. Those are the rules.
That's true, and Crossen is taking every advantage of it. And back comes Nick Weller with his machete.
Wait a minute.
Kelsey ties up Rick Pitts, and Weller gets a big jab on Crossen with the machete.
Well, he's got to have eyes in the back of his head with that Nick Weller wandering around out there.
You see Mick Weller wandering around the ring.
Worse, Mystery Man or Nick Weller?
Yep.
Well, they're two of the same.
My name is Mick Weller, that's my man in there, Mr. Slick Steenerson. I don't know who this Irish terror is, but I certainly don't like him.
Okay, so what? Hey, sir, what are you doing at ringside when that is Slick Steenerson's manager?
Actually, I'm Mr. Slick Steenerson's manager. I held his contract. I held his papers. I held his paycheck.
I should have disqualified you, Nick Weller. Foreign objects, boards.
Well, let me tell you something. I don't care about no foreign objects or boards or whatever you call them. Right now, my man, Mr. Macho, and me are after Kid USA Kelsey's title at the March 20th Anoka Armory. We are going for it. Macho.
That's right.
Look at this. Here he comes. Oh! Crawling out from behind the ring like some kind of a rat. Look out! Oh, he got him.
Nick Weller went underneath the mat.
And Rick Pitts didn't have any idea what happened.
Underneath the ring, came up with his machete, hit Crusher Crossen right in the back kidneys.
Referees, commentators, shows. Oh, hey,
Weller, who's this guy now?
who's this guy with?
Remember the Saturday special show a couple weeks ago, Bob? There he is.
Oh, give me a break. Mick Weller. Yeah, well, he's a Weller, all right. He should be digging wells the way he looks.
Yeah, that is gonna go rob a train.
Okay, and up next, the Macho Man's new manager. There he is, Nick Weller. Nick, why don't you stand still for a minute? Do you got anything to say about the upcoming card?
Well, I'll tell you what, mate. I say, I don't like this non-title business between Kelsey and Mr. Macho there. Mr. Macho happens to be a very good wrestler indeed. I don't believe Wilson knows what he's doing. Simple as that.
Well, obviously, Nick Weller just got off the boat from down under because you weren't at the last match when Kid Kelsey practically destroyed Mr. Macho in front of a sold-out auditorium in Brooklyn Park.
Well, personally, I don't quite care, you see. Mr. Macho is under new management. What does Kelsey have? Crusher Crossen? Crusher Crossen is a loser, and I don't know how he could be champion this long.
Kelsey's got one thing that you guys are never going to see. That's the title belt around his waist.
And
There he is again, Mick Weller.
Mick Weller.
I'll tell you what. Let me tell you something, mate. I like this tag team here, but I don't know what business Mr. Destroyer's got going in there. What is this, a rockin' Rotterdam? What is he doing there, mate?
Kelsey throws Crossen into the turnbuckle.
Every now and then the Minnesota accent
grabs him.
bleeds in,
He's
right?
got some kind of rope. He's trying to choke him. Right now, Rick Pitts trying to chase out Nick Weller out of the ring.
Objects on him.
They just stop paying like we do.
They were the better team. They should have won. They would have won. They did win.
Mick
Good old-
Weller, or Dave, what do you think?
Well, he's the manager I knew the most out of this bunch.
Yeah. Yeah, Mick was, Jason was just so talented. He could do anything. The other managers that didn't even make the cut, he did Tex, which was a Texas manager. He was like from Texas. He did this really arrogant Texan accent. He did Slick Scotty Harrelson, which is kind of a Rowdy Roddy Piper style. Jason could do it all, man. He's so talented with the characters he'd come up
If
with.
I remember correctly, he was in the drama club in school, wasn't he?
Oh yeah. So he loved all that stuff. He loved coming up with characters, and Jason's responsible for helping a lot of guys develop their characters as well. When guys would join the show, Jason would help them come up with a character, bring out whoever, he would help them because a lot of the kids didn't know what they wanted to be. And so Jason would bring that out of them. He's good for that.
Exactly.
Gizmo's got a comment here, Dave. So Crusher, this is the first video I noticed you wearing boots. When did you change over from socks to boots? I switched over from socks to boots in the Brooklyn Park Armory, which would be the end of '86. That's when I started wearing boots.
Yep.
Actually, I think I did in the Champion Legion. I didn't have my wrestling boots, but I had black shoes that I wore there. But yeah, I started using shoes and stuff right around the fall of '86, and from that point on, in all of '87. Once I had those boots, it's all I wore. You know, we wanted to.
Exactly.
Yeah, when you got the wrestling boots, and Dave, you know this, you wanna.
Yeah.
It makes you feel more complete in your whole
I
costume.
totally agree. I totally agree.
Yeah, so the boots are an important thing.
You know, once you've got the outfit you're going to wear, you got to get the boots, and you got to tie it all together, and
Yep, a ring jacket generally, or some kind of a, you know, usually have
yep.
a ring jacket or whatever to come out to, or.
And
All
I mean,
right, so
once you put
those.
those boots on your feet the first time, you can never go back to wrestling barefoot or in socks.
Right. All right, so now we are moving on to the managers. There are 6 managers on the list, Dave.
Okay.
And if I'm
You mean
right,
announcers?
or no, I announcers. I'm sorry, I say managers. I'm sorry. There are 5 managers on the list, not 6. So we have 5 managers to showcase. Why do I keep saying managers? Announcers. I'm confusing everybody. So we're going on to the announcers, and we have 5 of them. And like I was saying, all 5 of these guys, I don't know who I would vote for here because they are all good. They could have went into this professionally, Dave. They're all that good.
Yep.
I'm not kidding. I'm not joking when I say this. So let's take a look at what I'm talking about here with the managers to give you an idea. So our first one is
Our
Rich
first
Taylor.
announcer. Yep.
Or no, announcer. Did I say managers again?
Yes, you did, Crusher.
Oh, and you know what else I forgot? I got to start it up. I forgot our music. I think this is the right one. Yeah, I have to have the background music. I can't believe I forgot that. All right, so got that going. So yeah, let's go to our highlights of Rich Taylor. You know, well, first of all, Rich, he looks older than us, but he's really not that much older. He was about, at this time he was involved in 84 and 85. I was 14 and going on 15, and Rich was 2 years older than me. So he wasn't that much older, but he was really big guy. You know, most of your announcers are smaller than the wrestlers, right? To make the wrestlers look bigger. Rich, it was the opposite. He was huge. But let me tell you something. All the guys loved Rich. He was well liked off camera. Everybody liked him. He had one of those personalities that was just likable. Let's take a look at Rich. Highlights of Rich Taylor and his announcing and interviewing style. Get an idea.
But first, we're going to get to the interview area for a special interview with our new interviewer, Rich Taylor. Take it away, Rich.
Thank you. Welcome to the Kids Twin Cities Wrestling Association. Right here with me, I got Merciless Mike Ackerman. Merciless, what do you got to tell the folks out?
Okay.
It's Full Nelson now by Fabulous One Peterson. As he brings Walker over, and the Russian Destruction, taking a shot at him now. Kid USA Kelsey going over, working on the Russian Destruction. Gives him a pile driver. Once again, we're ready for another match. Exciting, TWF, the Major League of Kids Professional Wrestling. You won't see action as well as you see it here. Underway for the next match. Entering the ring right now, once again, the Mosconian, or moron, or Mongolian, whatever you want to call him. The Russian Destruction.
Something in that mask. Crusher trying to take off the mask.
Merciless, thank you for taking over for me. I'm watching that guy's mask. That guy's got something in his mask. I can see it bulging. And Crusher Cross is infuriating. We're back here ready for the next match. Contestants already in the ring. We have in this corner weighing in at 45 pounds. 45? Rough Ryan, accompanied by Big Mouth Peterson.
Yeah, my muscles weigh 45 alone. More.
I find that hard to believe.
And I'd just like to say that if the jackknife is out there, he's in trouble, him and his side.
Boy, I don't know, Jackknife Jacob, but if I was you, I'd be shaking in my boots. That sounds like a pretty serious threat. Now let's go up to the ring for some hot and heavy action. Crusher, let me ask you this. What do you hope to prove by wrestling a tired man?
Hey, if you want me to...
Prove he's a loser.
Well, hey, if that's all the courage he got, I don't think he's gonna win the match even if he had all his breath.
Well, he must have some courage. He's in here.
Yeah, well,
He's willing to take 2 matches right on top of another. I think this is a very low-down tactic coming from a classy individual such as yourself, Crusher.
Hey,
This is below you.
actually, the officials wanted somebody, so I stepped in because of something like that.
I think it's more like he stepped in, Crusher. I'd like to welcome you to the NWF, the National Wrestling
calling me out.
Federation. Just now going coast to coast, north to south,
Rich
east to
will
west,
tell it
you
like
name
it
it,
is. That's one
we're
thing
there.
about Rich. He'll tell it like it is.
Oh my goodness.
He doesn't play paper.
Oh my goodness. Merciless Mike, that is uncalled for. That is uncalled for by Merciless Mike. He slugs his own teammate, the Crusher Crossen. I got to give the Crusher credit though. He saw his own teammate bring it in the chair and he tried to stop him.
Yes, that's fairness.
Well, you know, Fabulous One, I hate to tell you, but Crusher Crossen, a personal close friend of mine, is afraid of no man. And you certainly seem to be about half of it.
Then half a man, half the Fabulous One, but a Ford man. Now, I'll take him anytime. And if he's not afraid of me, then why won't he take me for the title match?
I don't know. That's some Crusher Crossen, but I will say I have seen your
Notice how
wrestling. You're a fine
Rich
wresler,
always dressed the
Fabulous
part
One,
too, Dave.
and I wish you all the
Always.
luck.
Exactly.
Let's go back up to the ring for some TWF action.
He's always
Just
dressed
watch
up for
out.
every show.
Yep.
Well, thank you very much, Madman. Madman, who are you wrestling today?
I believe this new wrestler Ace.
Ace. I've never heard of him before. Who is he?
I don't know, some wrestler.
Well, stay tuned. Madman Nash versus a newcomer to the NWF, Ace.
Don't care. Well, this is a match. Yeah, I'm glad.
Okay, you heard it, folks. Straight from the champ's mouth, we got Crusher Crossen and Kid Kelsey versus the Fabulous Ones of Peterson and Jackknife Jacob. Down to the ring for more all-star action.
Hold it, man.
Referee's decision is a pin by Crusher Crossen, but I personally rule this match a draw because of the interference of Merciless Mike Ackerman.
Rich, shape up or ship out. Peterson interfered first.
But he also got kicked out, Crusher. Merciless Mike wasn't kicked out or nothing. While Kelsey was, you had one too, Crusher. I rule this match a draw. The official decision is a pin by Crusher Crossen, but this will be taken up by the board, by the committee of the TWF. I guarantee you that, Crusher.
Peterson.
I'd like to welcome into the ringside interview area here a newcomer to the NWF, Ace. Welcome to the NWF, Ace.
Thanks.
I bet you're glad to be here.
Yeah, I am. There
Very
wasn't enough
first interview of
competition
Ace
when I
there.
asked.
Well, I'm sure you'll find it here. There's plenty of competition.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
No, I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
Did you hear the ref claiming, I didn't see it, I didn't see it? The famous words of referees and umpires all over the nation. There's now Brian Peterson in there against the Crusher Crossen.
Isn't that the truth?
This Crusher ducking under the clothesline and coming back with a double sledge on Peterson. Hammering away on Peterson now. Official referee's decision is a pinfall. Crusher Crossen pinning Andy the Ripper. Elapsed time 12 minutes. 12 minutes into the match. In spite of what Jackknife Jacob tried to use his dastardly tactics of using a wrench to disable the Crusher Crossen. And now what's this?
Well, it's like Rich Taylor's getting bombarded with chairs. This is all part of an angle, you guys, that we were working on, where they attacked Rich Taylor. You know, they did that to Wally Carbo back in the AWA, remember, Dave?
Yep.
Jesse Ventura and Adrian Adonis. Rich took a pretty nasty chair shot there. That's Brian Peterson for you. When he hit you with the chair, he hit you. But yeah, so Rich Taylor, and that little end there, you guys, is all an angle where Rich was being brought in to be my mystery partner to be in my corner, and that was the build up for that. So, but anyways, yeah, Rich Taylor from 84 to 85 in the Group W cable era of the show, so during those early days of the league where the wrestling was still, being developed, Rich was the voice of the league. And really, really, really professional. He really brought that professional style in the way he dressed, everything else. Sky Sports Video News says Rich sounded great. I don't know if it was his deep voice or just his style. He was really good. And not only that, he did that video kind of shows him really getting in the face of everybody, kind of trying to almost dictate things. He couldn't have been more well liked off the camera by everybody. I'm telling you, everybody liked Rich. He was so well liked by the kids. Here's Dave. There's a question for you. Dave, do you have boots? I mean, do you own boots? DD, anyone? Dixie Dave, anyone?
Yes, I did have a pair of boots, but they were loaned to somebody, and I'm still waiting to get them back.
And Dave, we have a new commenter here that I've not seen before. I was going to bring this in. Welcome, Heath Wayne. Glad you're joining us. He's commenting on Rich Taylor. Sound like he could have been a great NWA play-by-play guy. Yeah, Rich was good. Yeah, Heath, I've seen your other comments earlier too. Yeah, we're just going over we're doing our final Hall of Fame, or I like to call it Hall of Recognition, just where we try to showcase the guys who really stood out in our show. And right now we're just going over the announcers. This is our last category, and
this was mid-'80s wrestling.
Yeah, mid-'80s, back before anything like this ever existed, really. And that's kind of what we're watching here. And he mentioned a good NWA play-by-play guy. Well, the guy coming up here for our next announcer, I always thought was a Mike Tenay style. Of course, I'm talking about none other than Brian Bellabon. And he was just very much like a Mike Tenay. He was around 85 to 86 from the Garage Studios into Fred Moore Junior High. He was just a really good voice. And don't be fooled by his young age. Just take a listen to how he was as an announcer. Get an idea of his style.
Here we are at the NWF, and we have a dandy of a match here for you here. Coming into the ring now with his partner, he is Rough Ryan. I don't know what that was. It looked like a head, but oh no, a foreign object. Oh, look at this as he comes in. It looked like to me like a chain or something. Skid USA Kelsey brings it in. Looks like it's gonna be, yes, the pile driver. So this could be it for Rough Ryan. Electrifying Eric still trying getting a few cheap shots. We're talking top ropes here.
Yeah.
He comes down. Oh, and on him. Yes, electrifying, come here, please. You are new to the wrestling NWF. You and your hat do a pretty good job trying to interview with Crusher Crossen.
Right across the face, and you should be disqualified with the change in there.
We're gonna need some help here in the ring. Get the wrestlers in. Here comes Ace. And we come in some wrestlers here. Ace comes in. Here comes some wrestlers. Todd the Bod lays down. Here we have some wrestlers. Oh no, here we have it. Oh, it's Ace in the ring. We need some wrestlers in here. What a match. This has become very interesting. Your partner, Crusher Crossen, has just eliminated Merciless Mike out of the NWF. How are your thoughts on that?
For the excuse me, that's Nash.
Killer Cadwell. No one. You say will make it. Who do you think will make it? Robert?
Nobody.
No one. Who'd have the best chance at taking you? Now this has nothing to do with you two. Out of the other two tag teams, which one do you think will make it? Out of both the teams, let me get you to think here. Bulldog Butcher, you are a newcomer. What do you think about the challenge of Jumpin' Johnson?
Well, Jumpin' Johnson thinks he's gonna beat me in that battle royal.
This match has already gone out of control. The ref trying his best to control the madness as it has gone on. As Kid Kelsey's looking for a pin. He's got a 1, 2, 3, and that does it! Kid USA Kelsey has just beaten Butcher Bulldog from Russia. As the ref needs some help. And now it looks like there is 6 people left. Killer Cadwell. Oh, there's Crusher Crossen on the top. He's got him. As it looks like they're working over there in that corner against Bad Balaban. You have a match today against Crusher Crossen non-title. And if he wins, you have to take him on next week. How are your feelings about that?
If he wins, which I very much doubt, he shouldn't even get the chance at the title. That's all I have to say.
Which one do you think will make it? Crusher Crossen or Pretty Boy?
Crusher Crossen or Pretty Boy? I don't think either of them deserve a shot.
Well, it looks like we are having the arrival of Crusher Crossen against Todd the Bod as he circles the ring. Oh, he looks mad, folks. He looks mad. I guess he did not chicken out after all. We have some early fighting going on. And this
Very
should
much like
be
Mike
an
today, I think.
awesome match, folks.
Style-wise,
The
it
next
is.
person from Russia, Bulldog Butcher. From Russia, next. The triple combo of Rough Ryan, Mean Dean, and Energy Electrifier. And the next tag team, the Blues Brothers. Jumpin' Johnson and Miss Dr. B. Next, on our last one, and will Crusher go out? Will he go out? No, Kid Kelsey saves him. Jumpin' Johnson working on Rough Ryan over there. It's kind of hard to see the whole action, so I'm going to run around the ring here. Thundar has out goes Rough Ryan. Will Butcher come out? I don't know. It looks close. Oh, they're working on the Butcher. Oh, Jumpin' Johnson and Dr. B working on Kid Kelsey here. This match, I cannot tell you much. Over in this corner, we have Rough Ryan and Crusher Crossen, Jumpin' Johnson over here. Look at this, it's just in this one corner here, I'm telling you. Look at this, I cannot understand this. Look, you can see it for yourself. Kid Kelsey against Crusher, where have you ever heard that? We'd have thought we never heard that in a million years. Here at the NWF, and here to come in fairly soon will be Kid Kelsey. Yes, here he is, Kid Kelsey, the NWF Heavyweight Championship.
You bet. I beat Ace. I was in Florida once.
What in the world is going on here? Just an all-out brawl. Corporal.
Very young
Kelsey
Steve
against
Peterson, it
Stevenson
looks
here.
like.
Oh yeah, very young.
Welcome back to
Stevenson
the
there.
NWF here for the show. But first, we must the national anthem. Rockin' Runnin' Bomb and his
Yeah, we did the
manager,
national anthem
Kid
a lot of the
USA
shows.
Kelsey.
Back in those days.
His opponent entering the ring right now. We have Rattlesnake Jake and Kid USA Kelsey, the manager.
Nervous around Rattlesnake Jake, huh, Dave?
For Rockin' Runnin' Bomb. Oh, what is
Yep.
that? It's some kind of foreign object in there. Disqualified. Oh. This match has gotten totally under control. In goes Kid USA. We have the bell. Look at that. Oh, gee. Oh, what a monster.
So Brian Balaban, one of my favorites. I really like Brian's style as an announcer and an interviewer.
Yep.
Probably the most, very, very articulate interviewer. He would ask very, telling questions that really made you think. He'd really put a lot of thought into his questions. I like Brian. A lot of energy, just like Sky Sports says. Brian has a lot of energy while he's announcing. Did he have ADHD? No, I don't think so. He just got into it. He's probably pretty mellow, honestly.
See, back when we were kids, there was no such thing as ADHD.
Yeah, well, or if you had it, you just had it. There's no medicine for it or anything. But yeah, now he was very energetic. Always liked Brian's style, though. I thought he was, full of energy. You went from the biggest announcer to the shortest, smallest announcer. Both were good. Yeah, exactly. Brian actually physically fit the part because he made the rest of us look big. He was really small kid for his age because he was like 12, but he was really small for a 12-year-old. And yeah, he did well. I was very, very happy with him. And another comment with Heath, he says the ring is bigger. He's referring to the Fred Moore ring.
Yep. The ring from hell.
Yeah, that ring from hell, because that was a boxing ring that we were at in Fred Moore there, and you taking bumps in that ring, you felt it. But as kids, you're more resilient, you can do it, but still, Dave remembers his first body slam in that ring.
I still get shivers down my back when we talk about it.
All right, let's move on to our next guy. And they're kind of just going in progression of years, folks, with the league here. The next guy is Chris Barger. 1986 through 1988 is when he finally, on and off in 87 to 88, but mainly 86 was his year. Part of the Yoho Municipal announcing days, as well as the Dry Dock. And let's take a look at Chris and his style. Again, another one that's got a golden voice. So,
welcome to another action-packed card of the NWF, the best professional wrestling that Minnesota has to offer. And our first match is going to be a barn burner. Everyone's a main event here today. The first one, who I'm going to have an interview with before the match, is the former lightweight champions of the world, the former lightweight tag team champions, the Super D's, and their manager, Rough Ryan. Now, guys, I'd like an interview with you, if I might. You're the ex-lightweight champions. What plans do you have to get these belts back?
Well, we got many plans against the Rough Russians, and we're gonna beat them.
Dragon is the Indiana State Champion. And a very cocky champion at that. I see it. Do you have any words before the match?
They're going down. Oh.
Words of wisdom, the smartest thing that's ever
I'm sure
come
Heath notices on this one, Dave, the professional ring now.
I think you've got it right now, Fly. But we'll see as soon as this match gets underway.
This is how the show progressed.
The tag is made. The tag was made, ladies and gentlemen. Now the Fly comes in. Super D number. Oh my gosh! A roundhouse right. He's got the Super D wrapped up in ropes, and
guy's doing a little acrobatics there.
That looks kind of funny. That's kind of like Jerry Blackwell trying to do that. The Fly does not have the build to be a speedster. And the Dragon goes out of the ring. And the Super D's, being the gentlemen that they are. Wait a minute. Now Kelsey's trying to get involved on this match. Kid Kelsey, you're here as a ring attendant and an announcer. You are not here to help the Super D's out. We have to be objective. Now, the Dragon is gone. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the NWF All-Star Wrestling, the best professional wrestling Minnesota has to offer. I'm here to remind you once again that on October the 17th, we'll be having our Fall Super Spectacular. All the matches have been signed. October 17th is not that far away. The card will be Crusher Crossen defending against the Iranian Sheik, Luscious Larry and Pretty Boy Taylor to go at it in the center of the ring. The Barbarians to defend their World Tag Team Championships against the Rock and Roll Express. And now, the guest I'd like to bring in at this time, one half of the Tag Team Champions of the World, Thundar the Barbarian. You've wrestled everybody and beat them, and you're coming back on October 17th, your first match back in the States, to wrestle the Rock and Roll Express.
That's right. Now, Rock and Roll Express, we've been watching some of those moves. You're getting kind of fancy with flying in the air and your little hammer locks.
I didn't hit nobody with the chair.
Then how do you explain the blood that was all over the ring and the bloody face of one half of the Express, Chris Barger, and everything that went on? Everybody in the Anoka Armory saw it.
He must have just popped a pimple.
Well, the Ice Dragon denying everything.
What am I supposed to do when he takes him away from my corner? How am I supposed to wrestle? I'm not trained to wrestle without my manager, Ice Dragon, in my corner.
Does that mean that you're not trained to wrestle without an added distraction or a possible interference? I mean, admit it, that's got to be a distraction for your opponents with somebody else sitting in your corner, and especially somebody like the Ice Dragon. Crossen throws Taylor into the ropes. What's it going to be? A big drop kick. That's the champion's best move, and he flattened him with it. As Taylor gets up, he saw it coming, and another big drop kick, and he lays him down on the mat again. Cross is straightening out the knee pad. Not another one. Oh, flying head scissors! What a well-executed maneuver by Crusher Crossen. And Pretty Boy Taylor's in a lot of trouble. He's in a very bad way right now. No, somebody's got to stop this, ladies and gentlemen. Hit him with the bell. No! And he caught him with the bell, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Crusher Crossen bleeding profusely from the bell. Now he's going to take the title belt. Somebody get in here and stop it.
I was just thinking
Somebody's
if we used
gotta
the
stop
real
it.
belt up there,
Crossen
Dave,
doesn't
that
know
would
where he
hurt.
is. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
And Cross comes back. He's still bleeding. And I'm going to get out of the way of this, ladies and gentlemen. Cross is bleeding
These
from
belts,
the forehead. Oh, my
You
God.
get hit with one of these.
Bleeding profusely. Turnbuckle.
It's
It's going to knock you out.
Cross. Oh, my God. Not a pile driver. Not a pile driver.
I mean,
Somebody's got to stop this. Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming back
I don't know if
with
this
an
could
interview that
get
I'm not
picked up
looking
on the
forward to
microphone,
doing.
but
Your actions, Pretty Boy Taylor,
Yeah.
are among the most despicable I have ever seen. After the match was over, Pretty Boy Taylor, Crossen beat you fair and square, and you came after him with a bell. How can you justify action like that?
I've never been pinned. Never.
Okay, Rough Ryan, any words from you?
The only strategy is to go in there and kick their butts in.
The words of the Super Ds, they'll be going after the Rough Russians and the World Lightweight titles any day now. You could be watching for that one. I want to remind you all that the next card, the Armory card, will be on July 26th, Saturday evening. And now we're about ready to start the next match. No, like I said, Kelsey's a fan favorite, not because of his tactics, but because of the men he fights. He throws, no! And we're getting a little bit, whoa, and he slaps the world champion. He slaps the world champion. Now, wait a minute. Taylor decked him. Now, wait a minute, Mr. Macho climbing into the ring. Then climbs back out. Pandemonium has broken loose. Now, Steenerson. Oh, and Steenerson takes the knee. Now, here comes Crossen. Now, this is out of hand. This is absolutely, no. We need help, ladies and gentlemen, for Kid USA Kelsey. Oh, my. Look at this. Oh, my God. I can't, oh my, they're working on Kid USA Kelsey, and what are they gonna do to him? Oh, and they split him apart! And now here comes Crusher Crossen, a world champion, to try and help things out, and he's had a feud with Taylor. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're enjoying the matches that we've had so far. And now, remember, on October the 17th, the Super Spectacular, this man will definitely be on the card. He's defending his World Heavyweight Championship against the Sheik. He is... And he's got the chair with him still. He is Crusher Crossen, the world champion.
Chris, this chair's gonna go with me wherever I go now because...
Actually, you are signed. You'll be wrestling for the National Heavyweight Championship against Kid USA Kelsey, making his return.
Where do you get your suits from, may I ask? What kind of style is this? May I see your tape label? Permanent press. Never mind. Take the camera. I'm done.
Man who obviously considers himself a fashion plate, and he's Slick Steenerson's new companion, if you will.
There's some things you don't need to know about.
Okay, the Invaders, still the National Tag Team Champions. That's all for now, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you right here next week on NWF All-Star Wrestling. So long.
Chris Barger, what are your thoughts and memories of Chris Barger, Dave?
Chris Barger was really good at trying to get the wrestlers over.
Yeah.
No matter who it was, he was always striving to get that person over.
You know, Chris has said as much that his whole intention when he joined the league was to try to put a little bit of organization and professionalism into the interviewing segments. So he really spent a lot of time on the interviews, you know. He's got that golden voice too, and he's
Yep.
went in life. He went into public speaking and everything, so it's no shocker. He was really good with that.
And the thing is with Chris, he was willing to work with anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, here I was 13 years old, and he was willing to take cheap shots for me in Brooklyn Park.
Yep, and that little bit that you guys did before the show, I remember.
Yep.
Yeah, Chris does a great interview. He sounds professional. Absolutely, Gizmo. He was good. Like I said, so far, all three of these guys, I think they're all great that we've seen so far. Now, we've got 2 announcers left. So let's move on to the next one. Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm on the right one. And that would be none other than Ken Boyer. 1986 to 1987, as part of the Dayton Studios and the Anoka Armory shows that we did in 87. Ken Boyer was part of the commentating team for that. Another comment from Sky Sports. He says, Crusher, your wrestling looked advanced in the last video. You progressed quickly. Yeah, you know what it is, really, Sky Sports? It's that ring that we got. We got that professional ring, and when we got that ring, all of us elevated up, because you actually had a working. It's very important that the ring. We found this out when we got it, but having a working professional wrestling ring makes a big difference in the quality of the wrestling that takes place. It's the best way to put it. Having been in all these different rings,
you learn your timing in that ring, and
yeah. It's like a, I don't know. It just makes a difference.
All rings are not created equal.
No, especially some of our makeshift rings in the beginning. They were just us building wooden platforms, really. All right, let's take a look at Ken Boyer. Footage of Ken.
Okay, Kenny B here at ringside along with beautiful Bobby Ferrari. And Bobby, quite a show lined up for today.
Fine, but I hear the big surprise today, didn't you? Unknown Studs are going to be here today.
That's right. That's right. The Unknown Studs are in town from LA, and these guys are unbelievable.
Well, all I know is let's get on with the NWF action and let's get ready.
We'll be back after this word.
Now, a lot of people in the Anoka, Minnesota area, they don't know about the Unknown Studs. They're brand new to the NWF. Well, I'll tell you something. Mike and I have seen films of these guys, and I will tell you, they do not stop at anything to win. They use illegal objects. They use distractions from outside the ring. They'll do anything they have to win, and they're coming after our belts.
Where's your partner, Mike, by the way?
Well, Mike, we're training real hard, and Mike is really psyched for these guys, and I couldn't pull him out of the gym. One of us had to be here, so I came over. I got to go back to the gym, but Mike wouldn't leave. He's out there working out just as hard as ever.
Okay, thanks a lot, Chris. Sounds like the Rock and Roll Express is ready for action, and we'll be back after this word. Watch out,
actually wrestled the rack.
Oh, the terror spotted him.
Oh, they did.
Onto his back. Oh, the Crusher.
Yeah, they did. Both Armory cards, they had matches.
Crusher in big trouble. He rolls out of the knee leg.
In 87.
Tremendous display by Crusher.
Tremendous.
Look at this man. He's a regular trapeze artist. There he is on the top rope again.
Ken put us over so well.
Next,
we're kids. He's part of the adult
certainly a bundle of energy. There he is. But you're teamed up with Dixie Dave against the Destructors.
You got that right. I want these Destructors. I'll team up with Crusher Crossen, Invader 1, Dixie Dave, White Ninja. It don't matter. These guys, I'm gonna get them.
Irish Terror's ready, and we'll be back after this. This is the Irish whip into the ropes, and over he goes! Crusher Crossen, right on his back. Look out for the mystery man. Hey, get him out of there, Rev. Irish Terror, you gotta go to Crusher ringside. Oh, pandemonium here. Watch out for that crash. Someone could get killed with that thing. Ring the bell, ring the bell. Ring the bell, somebody. Completely out of control. Look out. Into the steel post.
That's it. He disqualified him.
Get him out of here. Okay, now let's have a word with the world champion, Crusher Crossen. What do you say, champ?
Ken, and I want to say I'm in a good mood because
no slam, no belt, and I got the belt. And if I can't slam the big Pillsbury Doughboy, he gets the title. But he's not gonna get the title because I am gonna slam him. I've been working out special in the gym.
Now off the ropes. The clothesline.
Oh, big clothesline. Right on the back of his head. Hey, nice move. Using that hair again, he's getting away with it. Hey, that was a low blow, ref. Come on. That was a low blow.
This is our final armory card.
He got him! It's all over.
August 1987, last armory card we promoted.
Has defended his championship. Hey, look out, the mystery man. Hit him over the head with a belt.
The mystery
Get
man
him out
really...
of there, Jason. Get him out of there. Here they are, the Destructors, along with their partner, the mystery man. Come on in, gentlemen. Up against Dixie Dave and the Irish Terror. Mystery man, are you going to behave yourself this time? Last time you were interfering in the match.
I didn't interfere. There's no proof.
We busted one of the supports under the ring.
What do you think Bulldog weighs in at, Ken? It's probably around 200 pounds.
Well, it looks like he's gained about 30 pounds since the last time I saw him, and that was yesterday.
And was funny. He was always
Well, one thing about Bulldog that the NWF does like is anytime he's in the matches, the ice cream concessions double.
He's giving some advice to one of the Destructors. We got a body slam, a Tommy Tornado.
Oh, it's Tommy Tornado. I know how he got his name. The guy looks like a whirlwind. He's being thrown around his ring. He has shown absolutely no offense.
Set against the concrete. Now the big chair. Oh, what a blow to Tommy Tornado. Bulldog get back in the ring. The refs told Ken Boyer to hit the bell and call this match off. It's got to be a disqualification. Now the Destructors are coming back in. We've got a folding chair.
Here they come again. Get somebody out here, Jason Crossen.
Mr. Man doesn't know who to hit.
Pile driver on top of that steel chair.
Oh! This match is called, but somebody's got to stop this chaos.
Macho, Kid Kelsey again, this time a non-title bout.
Think you're funny? Non-title, huh? Well, Kelsey, the point of the matter is you're just scared to put up that line, that title shot against me. You put up once because you had to. That's it. I haven't seen no title shots yet. But after I pin you in Anoka...
Oh, excuse me, Macho Man. How can you come out here and demand another title shot after the showing you put on last time? You put half the crowd to sleep. I think you're lucky to get in the ring at all with the Kid Kelsey.
You just mind your own business, Kenny Bauer. Like I was saying, you know, Bauer, how do you pronounce your name? Bauer? I don't care. You're just nobody anyways.
The Macho Man appears to be in dreamland again, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully he'll wake up in time for that big match on the 20th.
Mr. Man's got Invader 3.
Off the top rope with that cast. Oh, man. He is out like a light. 1, 2, 3. Got him. Totally illegal. Totally illegal.
Totally cheap. The Mr. Man holding Invader 3. Iceman coming off the top rope with his cast, right on the top of his head. And now White Ninja trying to pick a fight with the ref. Invader 4 coming in to beat on Ice Dragon. Now Ninja's fighting on the Mr.
Get out of here, Kelsey. You can see that one coming a mile away.
Now Invader 3
he's got the ring, Mike.
I don't know what your problem is, but they hit me with the cast.
Well, Invader claiming that he was... It sure looked like it to me in the crowd.
Invader 3 now getting the crowd going on. He's really screaming at the ref. Mr. Man, he jumps back in the ring for his victory prance.
Listen to these fans are cheering for the Mystery Man. I don't believe it. He must have paid him off.
Got no idea why. It's about time somebody launches a few chairs in at this guy.
Get him out of here.
The winner of that match, it was just announced, is the Mystery Man and the Ice Dragon, who have just defeated White Ninja and Invader 3, and I think we're just about ready for a replay.
Well, the replay is going to clearly show what happened there.
What we're going to be seeing is
Mr. Man over here with that cash. There's no doubt about it.
Mr. Man held on to...
Yeah, Ken Boyer. You know, all these guys, Dave, they have very unique styles. And Ken's, you know, Ken was kind of more of the color commentator. He'd make you laugh. He'd say the funny bits. He was really good for that. And his interviews were pretty good, too, you know. He's all right guy, and real nice guy behind the scenes too. I got along with Ken all the time. You know, Ken came in with Luscious Larry and that whole crew of the bigger guys, but Ken was, and Bobby Ferrari, the guy that was with them in the beginning of the video. Those two guys and Jeff Dinsmore always treated us fair, unlike Larry. So,
oh, Larry was just out for Larry. That's plain and simple.
Yeah. And I like this comment from Sports Talk. Ken reminds me more of a school math teacher than a wrestling announcer. Yeah, with that Bozo the Clown hairdo. I can see where he's coming from on that. Yeah. But it's, listening to him is, he's got good demeanor as an announcer,
Exactly.
So our final nominee for announcers, last but certainly not least, the one and only, and it's got Ken Boyer, but this is Jeff Dinsmore. The graphic is wrong here. We'll have to get that fixed. It says Ken Boyer.
Hire the graphics person.
You have to fire the guy. This is actually Jeff Dinsmore, everybody. 1987 to 1988. Dayton Studios and Dry Dock. And Jeff, again, really, really good voice for this. Let's take a listen to Jeff Dinsmore and kind of get a feel for him. He's our final nominee for this whole series. So,
welcome, wrestling fans, to NWF Wrestling. I'm Jeff Dinsmore. Have we got a show for you this evening? Of course, right off the bat, we're going to remind you October the 27th at the Dry Dock in Spring Lake Park. We have got a card for you. Let me just run down some of the names. Kid Kelsey, the newly crowned champion, will defend his title in a rematch against Crossen. Grizzly Stevens got the match that he wanted against newcomer Dynamite Dion Dallas. The Ice Dragon is on that card. The Invader #3. And coming back to the NWF, Pretty Boy Taylor, Dirty Ernie, and Dr. Dread.
I've seen the Irish Terror on a few occasions. He's really improved, real quick. And I understand he's got a background in Taekwondo karate. I've seen him a few times use it. He is fast, though. Really well-improved wrestler.
Jeff, seemingly those tactics are not well appreciated here.
Oh, I know. The Irish Terror is really different. The first time I saw him, he was kind of a real meek and mild. But look at him now. He is just, and a shot to the midsection.
Well, those of you that saw the match at the Armory know what I'm talking about. We're going to call in the newly crowned champion right now, Kid Kelsey, kind of living it up. Controversial match. Can't take it away from you. You are the champion.
Yes, it was controversial because Crusher Crossen lost his head. Well, yes, he is a friend of mine. This is the biggest surprise. You're not going to find out now. He's a friend of mine. He's not part of the Awesome Foursome yet, but he will be. Big surprise.
A friend of yours?
A friend of mine.
Can we have any idea? I mean, do we?
He is one of the best wrestlers in the world. One of the best in the world.
Well, there you heard it, fans, from the champ, Kid Kelsey. Are we going to find out before the show's over who your partner? We are going to find out who his friend is. I'm waiting to see who. I have no idea. Stay tuned. We got more. Let me remind you, October the 27th at the Dry Dock, a major TV taping. 3 shows being taped that night. Get your tickets at the Dry Dock. If you have any questions, give them a call at 786-3375. More NWF Wrestling coming up right after this.
Gentlemen, welcome to NWF Wrestling at the Dry Dock. All right. Before we get going right off the bat, I want you to, if somebody can pan the camera, this is the largest crowd we've ever had for NWF Wrestling at the Dry Dock. Let's get a shot of these people. Give yourselves a great big hand. Oh, man. We've got a card lined up for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back with more NWF with the first match. Don't go away. This next match is a tag match. One fall with a 20-minute time limit. First of all, introducing the team of the Mystery Man and Terrific Tim. The Mystery Man and Terrific Tim.
Really shows how the show evolved, huh, Dave?
Opponents, ladies and gentlemen, one of the newcomers to the NWF, along with a guy that's been around a while, the team of Crusher, Crossen and the Equalizer. All right. Now down to rock and roll.
Now we're going to talk to the former champion, Crusher Crossen. And again, like I said last week, I hate to use that term, but it's a fact.
Listen, Jeff, let me tell you and everybody else, no problem.
That's right, I'm the former champion. I can buy that much. But you see, like I said last week, Jeff, I told you in my interview last week, and I'm going to tell you again because I think it's going in one ear and out the other. I did not get pinned at the Anoka Armory, and I did not submit to anyone. Yet here we have a new world champion on our hands. Well, Kelsey, your stipulations go and everything. Well, this match coming up at the Dry Dock is standard NWF stipulations that I was told 4.5 years ago when I joined, and that is that you got to pin the man or you got to make him submit, and that's the true winner. And we're going to see who the winner of this next match is. We're going to see who the true champion is, because right now, buddy, you got the title, and I want the belt. I got the title, and you got the belt.
No, I know you don't.
Crusher, you know, he talked
I know you
about
cringe
his
every time
mystery
you
man
walk
that
on the
he's got.
screen.
Let's talk about a gentleman, or a couple of gentlemen that are back on the scene right now. One comes to mind is Dr. Dredd. Last week when we found out that he was back, you kind of explained why you're so worried about this man being back. Of course, Grizzly Steven's going to be in the corner of Crusher Crossen. Now, who's this mystery man? You promised we'd know today.
Well, I'm going to talk about something else first. I'll get back to that. Somebody said, I can't remember who, that you can't get around Grizzly Stevens. Well, you're right. He's too wide to get around. But if you knock him down, you can sure get over him.
If he's listening right now, I hope you can back those words. Okay, right.
Now,
the belt says so, right?
Kelsey, a good interviewer.
Okay. If you remember, there was once a man who I totally hated. He was very mean.
You're stalling here. Who is this guy?
Okay, he broke my arm. He's the man who broke my arm in 1985 when I won the national title, went on to become the U.S. champion, and went on to become the world champion. I thank all my success to this man, because when he broke my arm, he made me work harder, train harder, and realize that Crusher Crossen is just a bum.
You mean he broke your arm and now he's your friend?
He broke my arm and now he's my friend.
Who is this man?
Here he comes right now.
You gotta be kidding me. Ladies and gentlemen, Pretty Boy Taylor. Excuse me. You can have this. I'm getting out of here.
All you people out there.
I'm Jeff Dinsmore. We've got a card put together here for you tonight. Let's get to it right now. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, one of the junior wrestlers here in the NWF. From Minneapolis, ladies and gentlemen, Ricky Vaughn. Ricky Vaughn. Ricky is one of the junior wrestlers here. And his opponent this evening is making his debut in the NWF. How about a great big hand, ladies and gentlemen? You gotta see this guy. You saw him last week. How about a big hand for the Equalizer?
The Equalizer, 16 years old, Dave. Built like a rock.
All right, thanks a lot, Jeff. You're gonna be joining me. Jeff will be joining me here at the ring.
Physical specimen.
And I can't even hear myself. These fans are so loud, and I got this earmuff thing
The
on.
Equalizer there in the
Jesus.
screen.
Fans are like an NWF
Guys,
wrestling.
just chiseled.
NWF Wrestling.
Only 16 years old.
Oh, we got a card.
Very green, though. Very
We've
green
got a
with
card.
us.
This guy's
as far as
making his
wrestling.
debut, ladies and gentlemen.
Look at the size of this
He's
guy.
a big boy. All right. Ricky Vaughn, one of our finer junior wrestlers.
Oh yeah.
And,
you know, he's done a lot of work with the CWF, which is a junior division.
And we give him all a chance to get out here. This is again, and I hate to keep reminding people, this is the debut of the Equalizer.
And what a debut!
That's it.
That's it. Bring it. Look at this guy, and listen to the fans.
It's gonna help him up.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner is the Equalizer!
We'll be back with more NWF. Stick with us.
Oh, let's get a close-up on that guy. Whoa.
So it says Ken Boyer. Ignore that. It's just the Dave was a spell checker. He missed that. Should be Jeff Dinsmore up there. Dave missed that one, so. Oh yeah. So
well, I admitted
Dave?
earlier I'm not the technical guy.
So there you have Jeff Dinsmore. I'm curious what people think of Jeff. You know, Jeff was he had a real radio voice, right? Like this kind of guy you'd think you'd hear on the radio almost, which is a kind of an announcing trait. So very, very professional. Jeff was also in a band, so he was very used to being in front of people. and that. So he could really get the crowd going at the dry dock and stuff like that. Really get them pumped up and fired up. We had really big crowds at the dry dock, as you've seen. Jeff mentioned it there. Couple 200 plus people in that dry dock on some of those shows. So
For the dry dock, that's a good number.
yeah, pretty small building, and you stuff all that people, because there was many people that were in the back part where it was closed circuited on a big screen in the other part of the dry dock. So you had like kind of two sections, because they couldn't see the actual ring. So then they would, they had a whole other area for seating in another part of the dry dock, and then we would like circuit it into there too, so the crowd would kind of drift into that part of the building. But yeah, big crowds at the dry dock, and the dry dock was all Jeff's doing. He had the connection to get us in the dry dock, so he was part of that, part of the process to get into the dry dock. So it really gave us a venue to do the show for several months there. Worked out pretty good. But yeah, so that is all of our nominees, Dave, for the Hall of Fame.
That would be everybody. I mean, some people are nominated once, some twice.
Yeah. And of course, I want to show the logo again, our NWF's 2024 Hall of Fame 40th Anniversary Edition. We're really looking forward to it. And Dave, I want to talk a little bit about the process.
Yep.
If I can get this thing to go away. There we go. So when we start doing the voting, which will start March 1st, the way it's going to work is you're going to have to provide your email address to vote. And that's just so we can track who's voting. And then you'll end up getting an email after you vote where you got to verify back. You just reply back to verify that it's actually you. And then that will register your vote as being an official vote. And you get to select up to 4 individual wrestlers, 2 tag teams, and then 1 manager and 1 announcer. And everybody that votes is going to be in a part of our giveaway, where you're going to have the chance, you're going to go into a randomizer, and you'll have the chance to get some pretty cool stuff. Do you want to know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I know what you're talking about, but you need to let the people know what we're talking about.
So what we're going to be giving away is the NWA World Heavyweight Championship Dome Globe. We have one of those to give away.
Yep.
We have one of our NWF Blue Championship belts up there in the top. We're going to give one of those away. We're going to give away one of the NWF National Championships right below it. And I'm also going to throw in one of our 2mm versions of the World Tag Team belts up there.
Yep.
We'll have one of those. And an extra added attraction, the 87 Andre 6mm stacked plate WWF World title will be in there as well. That is about a $600 belt. So that's one will be in there as well.
To be honest.
Some lucky person's going to get that thing. So besides the belts, we're also going to give away a bunch of our DVDs, both the documentary and the Anoka Armory DVDs. We're going to give away
a book.
The book, Pro Wrestling Kid Style. We have several copies to give away. We're also going to give away some new NWF Rewind t-shirts, which we're still working on. But we're going to have a new version of it. And we'll have that as well. So we're looking forward. And that's just for voting. All you have to do is just vote to be able to be a part of that and be able to get in on that. So the voting period, the window for voting will be March 1st and the whole entire month of March, all the way to March 31st. So there's plenty of time to vote.
If I remember correctly, we're going to be announcing the winners the first Thursday of April.
That's correct. The first Thursday of April, we're going to be announcing the lucky winners of all that stuff. And as well as the Hall of Fame winners as well. It's going to be one big show where we're going to announce who got nominated into the Hall of Fame and then who won the cool stuff. We're going to do that as well. We're going to announce those winners. So I'm looking forward to it. Everybody says, well, why are you doing this? So you're giving away almost $1,000 worth of stuff. Because I like to give it away. And look, I'm not in this for making. I don't do the NWF as a moneymaker. This is all from pride, enjoyment, and just enjoying the fact that you're being entertained with us. You know,
And to tell our story.
And to tell our story. You know, we call it Hall of Fame, but believe me, folks, I'm not trying to give the impression that we're famous, because we're not famous. It's just the Hall of Fame for the recognition of who stood out in our league, right?
Yep.
To give you an example of that, you know, currently we have a total of 12 of us in the Hall of Fame right now as a singles wrestler. There was probably close to 100 kids that came through the show. Right now, only 12 are in the Hall of Fame. Only 4 more will go in. And of the 4, it's only down to a list of 22 that are eligible as nominees. So what about all those other kids? Well, there's a lot of factors that go into that. You know, Dave and I talk about the one and dones, you know, and you know, what kind of impact did they have on the show? What kind of personality did they have? How involved were they? How much character did they have? All those things go into consideration when we determine who the nominees are going to be.
And you know, if you look back at our show that we did with Pretty Boy, he freely admitted that he thought I was going to be a one and done.
Oh, yeah.
I proved otherwise.
Well, Dave, you proved a lot of people wrong. I think a lot of people thought you were going to be one and done. Myself included. Because I've seen it before. I've seen people come through that revolving door. But you surprised a lot of us. Which is why you got the national tag titles towards the end.
Yep.
Let me get caught up on a couple comments here. Gizmo says, all these managers and announcers are really good. I am going to have to watch this video several times to be able to rate them. I know. Even me, and I know all these guys. I don't know, you know, because all of us, we all get to vote once. I don't know who I want to vote for when it comes to manager. You know, for my vote. I don't know. I can't tell you who I would vote for. I may just not vote, Dave. I don't know. Because if I had it my way, I'd vote for everybody.
You know, I'm going to be honest about something. One key factor that I'm going to take into account is who's still willing to be a part of the NWF after all these years.
That's a good point.
You know, because you and I, we've talked behind the scenes, and there's a few people that have been nominated, even a few people who've been inducted, who just don't want to take the time to be a part of it anymore.
You know, and I'll say on that subject, I'm not going to hold it against them. You know, everybody has their own direction in their life, and wherever they are, they might be in other things. I get it. But to Dave's point, that's something that maybe should be considered. You know, are they still involved? Do they still think highly? Do they still have, you know, are they still motivated with what we did? Are they proud of what we did? Is the other question. Yeah, you know, those are questions you gotta ask yourself. A good point. Another comment, just to move along here. This is from Sky Sports Video News. Are you going to make up ballots for people to submit to you by email? No. So the way it's going to work, we're going to use it'll be Google Forms is what it'll be. The processor behind the scenes, and it will be a link on our website. So as we get into next month, you'll be able to go to the website and it'll be all set up, but the link won't work until March 1st. But then there'll be a link that you'll pick on the website. There'll be a special page just for the 2024 Hall of Fame on our website. And you'll go and you'll pick that link and it'll bring you into the Google form where you then fill out the official ballot and you get to cast your votes and then you submit it and then that's it. It's very simple. Yeah. No purchase necessary, no money. We're not looking for any of that. This is we just want your vote. That's all we want. That's why we're doing the whole giveaways and all that stuff. So
exactly.
Yep. Dave and I were real excited for it. Go ahead.
You know, you were talking earlier about the national tag title. You know, I still take pride in that belt.
As you should.
You know.
And then
here we are, 37 years later, And I've still got one.
Yep, you still got it. You know, let's talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing in our next few shows. We will be back next week, folks, with a regular watch along.
Yep.
Okay. And I've already got a show I'm thinking about using. It's going to be a show that's going to represent everybody that was in our first Hall of Fame, the 2014 Hall of Fame. So everybody in that Hall of Fame group, which was myself, Kid Kelsey, Todd the Killer Campa, and Ace Andrew Carlson, and the Super Ds. That was that class. I'm going to have a show where we all were on it. One show.
Oh, okay.
I thought that'd be kind of cool. So we'll do that next week. But then, like Dave said, on the middle of February, we have some special guests that we're looking forward to bringing into the show. Outsiders, if you will. And we're going to talk about the show. We're going to talk about, it's going to be more of a kind of a roundtable discussion, and we're hoping a lot of you will come in and ask questions with these guys and chime in with them. And we're just going to get their take on what we did back in the day and how they perceive it. You know, one of these guys was in the wrestling business, Dave.
Oh yeah, one of the guys was gonna be there. If people remember the old WCW days, was trained by and worked with a wrestler by the name of Glacier.
Yeah. Great guy, by the way.
When WCW had their, I hate to use the terminology, Mortal Kombat knockoff characters.
Yeah.
That would have been Glacier.
And you know something? The guy we're talking about, Dave, I can't tell you, I really like this guy. He's just got a great attitude today. And so I'm really looking forward to that show. And then the next show after that will be the end of February. It'll be the show before the voting starts for the NWF Hall of Fame. And that's going to be the 29th of February. It's going to be a very special show. We're going to bring in, I've already put out and got commitments. We're going to have former guests that have been on the show. Jamie McParland, our good friend. Terry Kosnapple, who we've been talking about coming on. He's going to be joining us for that show. We have Matt Kelsey. We've got Steve Engstrom.
Who's been on?
All these guys have been on, with exception of Terry. And then Jeff Dinsmore. All going to be joining us for a kind of a virtual roundtable where we're going to take and just, it'll be more of a roundtable. We're going to talk about the Hall of Fame. We're going to talk about the impact of the league on us. And then they're going to have a bunch of more people to be able to take that you can ask questions to besides me and Dave and get some answers from some other of the guys that were on the show and get their takes and anything you want to ask them. I'm sure they I'm telling you, it's going to be a great roundtable. I mean, I'm really looking forward to that. It's the first time we've done something like that where we had several people at once. So
it's going to be
first for everything. Yeah, that it will be.
And it's the first time some of these guys have talked to Pretty Boy Taylor since the incident.
Yep, and it should make an interesting conversation. But we're gonna just roll with it. It's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it, and that's what's gonna happen next month, folks. We'll be on after next week. We'll be on our bi-weekly schedule. So next week's show will be next Thursday, but then we'll be bi-weekly from there. So, I hope you enjoyed all these preview shows. If you guys want to get more, like I noticed. Like Gizmo said, this is a good point. He's going to have to watch this show again to really get a feel for the announcers. But, if you missed our other shows, we did 4 shows, Dave and I did. This is part 4 today. We did part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4. And you can go onto the YouTube channel and go on the live tab, and you can see all of them. And if you want to watch the other shows that we did that you missed, you'll get an idea. We talk about all the wrestlers. We went over everybody. So we go over each person. And just to give you kind of an insight on what they were, who they were, and a little snippet of their style. But Dave, I still say, and we talked about this, I don't care how crisp you were in the ring. I don't care if you were down with a capital P and professional in your style, and you were coming off technique perfect, what I look at when I look at all this, if I'm voting, I look at what did you bring as a whole, the big picture. What was your commitment? What was your drive? Were you there as much as you could have been? Did you did you have the heart of a lion for the show back in the day, like I did, and like you did? I mean, was your heart into it? You know, I look at all of that. Yes, technique is one side of it. Were you good? Were you crisp? Yeah, that's part of it. But those other things are just equally as important, in my opinion. Take it for what it's worth.
It's to give an example. It's like Bulldog Butch. He may not have been the most crisp person in the ring, but he had the heart to be a part of the business. He knew he wasn't the most crisp guy in the ring, so he decided to step aside, let another wrestler fill his slot, and he became an announcer.
Exactly. Look at Jason Clausen. He wasn't... when it came to the wrestling side of things, so-so. He wasn't, technique or anything. But his character is off the charts no matter what character he was doing.
Exactly.
As an example, So, yeah. And that's why when we did these little previews for the last 4 weeks, I tried to give you some of that behind-the-scenes stuff that the video wasn't showing you. I was trying to tell you a little bit about what they were like off camera, what they were like behind the scenes, the stuff that the cameras never got, right? So you can always, watch those shows. We have a good month before voting starts, so you can freshen up on that whenever you have some free time and watch little snippets here and there. And so, yeah.
And as we've said before, you guys, the voting for this, Crusher may have his favorites he would like to see go in. I may have my favorites who I'd like to see go in. But our votes really don't matter because your votes are the ones that count.
Yep. And, hopefully...
Go ahead.
And I'm hoping all of our giveaways will entice people to really want to vote for us. And, and we've always had good turnout before in all of our Hall of Fames that we've done back in 2014, 2015, 2016. So I'm hoping it'll continue. I know it's been about 10 years since we did the last one, roughly. But I think we still have a real strong YouTube base of 2,000 plus subscribers, roughly. And so I think we should, hopefully have a good turnout on that. And plus, wrestling fans that are into collecting the wrestling belts, I think we're going to have a whole flock of them that want to vote for us because they like, they like title belts.
Exactly.
So,
and as you can see behind me and behind Crusher, it gets to be an addiction.
Yeah, once you get a belt, man, and you have that belt in your hands, you just start wanting... This is just my NWF collection. My other collection's downstairs with all the other belts that I have. All my AWA belts. And yeah. So this is just my NWF stuff back here. And as Dave knows, I'm still thinking about adding a few more belts to that collection there that are not there. And that's just it. You start collecting belts and you start getting your hands on them and you want more. And so here we are. We're going to give away 3 NWF belts, an NWA World Heavyweight Championship Dome Globe, and we're giving away the Andre 87 Special Edition WWF World Title 6mm stacked plate version, Dave.
Yep.
That thing is worth about $600, give or take. So, just that belt alone. That'll obviously be the top one we give away, so that'll be in the randomizer. Whoever gets in the top spot will get that one. So, yeah, that'll be fun when we do that. So, make sure you stay tuned to our shows as we go into February and get ready to vote for March 1st because that's when it's all going to start for the voting.
And you can, once you see that link pop up, I know Crusher will share it on Facebook. I'll share it on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
And you can share it with your friends who enjoy wrestling on Facebook.
Yep.
Or whatever
And emails
platform you want.
And of course, emails have to be verified in the voting process. So if somebody votes and puts some bogus email address in and it doesn't come back verified with a reply, that vote will be eliminated. So votes have to be legitimate. So so we'll be watching for that. It's not too hard to monitor that part of it. So. All right. So, Dave, I think that's about it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the show today as we looked at our managers and announcers, the categories that I really like. How we got these categories, our first Hall of Fame, we didn't have managers and announcers. And as we did the second Hall of Fame in 2015, Leslie Johnson, a.k.a. the Mystery Man, said, how about you introduce managers? Yes, he was a manager. So obviously he's going to suggest that, right? And I got to thinking, yeah, that's a good idea. We should. We'll put managers in. And then I thought, why not announcers as well? So I threw announcers in there. And even though Leslie suggested it, he didn't get nominated the first year. The first manager to come into the Hall of Fame was Jackknife Jacob. And then it was the Mystery Man that then got nominated the second year. So, and then, of course, the first announcer to go in, no surprise, Jason Clausen.
Exactly.
I mean, it was a landslide, too, I remember. He won it by a mile. And then the second announcer to go in was Rob Jacob, Ray Johnson, the original Ray Johnson. Those two are not shockers. That does not surprise me. So, that they got nominated back in the original 3 Hall of Fames that we did. But Dave, I think that about does it for today.
Yeah,
so
I think we're good for the week. I look forward to seeing everybody again next week. Hopefully, my internet connection will be better next week.
At least it's stuck in pretty good at the end here. I didn't see it cut out or anything, so that's good.
Yep. I apologize about the connection issues, but we all know how weather can affect the internet.
That's right. All right. So for Dixie Dave, I'm Crusher Crossen. We will see you next week, folks.
See you then.